Hey everybody, this is my 10-gallon Pea Puffer tank in my office, and I want to feed them, but I can't find them. Oh, there they are, here they come. I recently added the rubber lip pleco that you've probably noticed swimming around back there. There he is on the bottom now. He is already doing a fantastic job of getting the tank cleaned up, and I got in there tonight and I did a little bit more of a water change. I think I mentioned in the previous video where I first introduced the rubber lip into the tank, I mentioned that the rubber lip will scrape surfaces clean, but it's not going to eat the big sheets of already existing cyanobacteria. That's just not part of their diet. It's not really bacteria. It's not really algae that the algae eater will eat. But once you get the tank sort of cleaned up, it will continue scraping the surface and it will prevent the buildup of the cyanobacteria in the future, so it won't really come back. So when I did the last water change, I removed a lot of the cyanobacteria, but down towards the bottom of the tank, I couldn't get it all off. And what I noticed was happening was as the rubber lip sort of scraped his way down towards the edge of where the cyanobacteria sheets were growing, he was sort of rolling the sheets back and scraping the glass sort of underneath of them, and I had these sort of sheets of the cyanobacteria that were kind of hanging loose in the back. So I got in there with my hose again today, and I did another pretty major water change. That when you vac with just a regular siphon hose and not the gravel vac, a lot of water comes out of there very quickly, and I was able to use it to scrape away a lot of the rest of the cyanobacteria that was on the glass in the back. I pulled some more off of the plants. I got it off of my heater that was back there, and I also got a lot of it off of this little artificial cave system. So after I finished the water change and I noticed that my rubber lip in there is doing fine, I also have been hearing from a lot of my viewers about their experience with little puffer fish, these little dwarf pea puffers, and so far nobody has confirmed that they are aggressive fish. I've read that they're aggressive fish all the time, but nobody has ever said, yeah, I had one and it nipped this fish or it nipped that fish. Everybody always says that that's overrated and they're really not that aggressive, especially if you keep them properly housed and so on and so forth. So I took the chance on putting some neons in the tank. There's only 4 of them in right here, right now. But I am going to add 3 or 4 more and get a little school of neons going in there. And somewhere in there, when I was scooping the neons out of the quarantine tank, I got one of those little baby female guppies. So somewhere in here is also a little baby guppy. I'm almost sure it's a female. Either way, there's one of them swimming around in the tank somewhere. So now I've got a little community going on in here. I've got my 2 Dwarf Malabar pea puffers, or some people call them pygmy puffers. And I've got so far 4 cories, the rubber lip, and somewhere is a little guppy, or possibly an Endler's guppy. So now that we've got everybody out and about, let's see if we can't put some food in there and get them interested in eating it. They're pretty small, so it doesn't take much. Now I'm going to have to change up the way I feed this tank, because I've got other fish in there now. I'm going to have to make sure there's algae wafers going in for the rubber lip. I'm going to have to make sure fish food goes in for the guppy and the neons, and I'm assuming the neons, of course, will probably eat some of these bloodworms that I'm putting in there, so I'm going to have to make sure that the puffers get enough in the future, instead of just putting some in there with the knowledge that any bloodworms going in there are going to get eaten by the puffers. Now I have to consider that some of the bloodworms going in there might be eaten by other fish. And I'm so busy trying to watch where I'm pointing the camera that I've completely lost the puffers again. It is amazing how well they can hide. They can sit right in plain sight as long as they're not moving. They're almost impossible to see. Okay, I can see one way in the back over there, and it's still eating. So apparently we're not going to get a cool feeding video. And I can actually see some neons in the back eating a few of the... there's that little guppy. And I did see some of the neons already eating some of the bloodworms, so I'm definitely going to have to make sure I put enough in there that the puffers are able to get some. At any rate, that's about all I can get done today. I am still dealing with my back issues. I've got a ton of stuff to get caught up on in the basement, in the fish room. But I did want to get some kind of video out there today. I like to put up a video of some sort every day, and just doing a quick feeding video like this isn't that big of a deal. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss anything else I got coming up. As I said, I do have a lot of catching up to do downstairs. Don't forget, this one is my Pea Puffer tank. Thanks again. I'll see you real soon in the next one.